On page 27, you quote Senator Abraham Lincoln in 1848 when he said, "Kings had always been involving and impoverishing their people in wars, pretending generally, if not always, that the good of the people was the object." So it turns out, throughout history, this has been the claim that mass murder is in the interest of the masses, not just a select few. When it comes to how we can differentiate war propaganda from genuine threats, what are some lessons we can learn from history?
Well, one lesson you have to learn is that it's almost always propaganda. So you don't give them the benefit of the doubt. You basically assume they're lying to you. War, the prospect of war carries with it the prospect of the enrichment of a lot of people who don't deserve to be enriched, and that includes the people propagandizing you. So you have to assume they're lying. And very often that will be the case. And you might say, yeah, but how could both sides of the conflict be lying? Well, sometimes they are, or sometimes one side is lying and the other side is legitimately innocent. But in terms of an offensive war, where they're basically saying we have to send troops over to such and such place in order to accomplish objective A, B, and C, there are very, very few conflicts that actually satisfy the various just war requirements. Now, I know it's been argued that those just war requirements, you could drive a truck through them and you could stretch them to justify any war you wanted to if you tried hard enough. But I think when you do that, it's obvious enough to everybody what's happening. But that quotation that you have makes it more understandable why it is that the American system was set up the way it was, where the president could not simply send troops into harm's way, but that they were very, very self-consciously taking that power away from the executive, because we see that in light of that quotation about the kings, and transferring it to the body that they felt was closest to the sentiments of the people, the U.S. Congress. After all, congressmen are reelected every 2 years, because this one person can't be trusted with making these decisions.
I love Arthur Ponsonby's thesis that basically most wars, you can just assume that they're lying. And the reason is because they're asking you to bear such a high cost of mass death and getting your limbs blown off. You mentioned the fact that the term basket case does come from a quadruple amputee. So in order to get people to bear such a high cost, they can't say, so, well, we're fighting a war because either Yanukovych is going to be on the throne in Ukraine or Zelensky is. So that's what we're dying for. They can't do that. They got to say Putin's going to take over everything, mass enslavement, and he'll just start having executions all over the globe. They always have to lie because of the high cost that the people have to bear in order to get into the war.
Hey, you all, it's fundraising time again at the Libertarian Institute. We try not to do this to you too often, but business is business after all. I got a great group of guys and a gal at the Institute, and I got to pay them. So just go to libertarianinstitute.org/donate to pick your price and help out. We've got some great kickbacks too, books and shirts. Great ones. That's libertarianinstitute.org/donate. And thank you all very much.